Words of wisdom brought to you by a video game. Final Fantasy Tactics. You played this game?
No.
If the penalty for a crime is a fine, then that law only exists for the lower class.
So what's up, dude? Here we are. We're doing it again. Week what? We're getting close to 70, aren't we?
65.
65. This is the 65th week we've done this show. 65, if you're counting. I am. 65 weeks, dude. I went back this morning. I woke up and I used the restroom and I was getting ready and I looked back on the Tsunami podcast and I was looking at it and I was like, wow, we've been doing this for a long time. And I went back to the very beginning when the pandemic was hitting. And I think we called one of our episodes State of Emergency. And we were just so casual about it. We had no idea how crazy it was going to get. We had no idea how many people were going to die. And it was weird to watch that and go back and look at that.
Bill Burr had a funny take on the
It's like episode 7.
The vaccinations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which if you get it or not, that's up to you. Cool. It's beside the point. But it's a funny joke the way he put it. He said the people that were against the vaccine, they were like, oh, the COVID is just, it's not a big deal. Only 100,000 people died. That was the general idea. It was like the flu kills more people. This has killed more people. It was all this. Everybody knew that other diseases have killed more people. And he was like, 100,000 wasn't enough to concern you. He was like, but 6 people have a reaction to the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And all of a sudden that's too many. It's like 100,000 wasn't enough, but now 6 is too much, right? I thought that was a funny take. It's like
really great.
It's pretty good.
That's really great.
That's I like pointing out flaws and consistency.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's so many of them. I was thinking about that the other day. I was driving and having a discussion with somebody, and I was like, man, I wish there was a cool just a running tab website with just these weird inconsistencies in people's logic in terms of world news and events and opinions on these big broad subjects. Because that to me that's just very funny. It's very funny. Well, one day we're this, the next we're not. And I always say just pick better reasons then. For example, the whole decriminalization of marijuana. Mm-hmm. Depending on where you sit on that. That's fine. That's your business. It's all good. I got a complicated opinion on that particularly. But it's funny. When it first came out, it was we're going to decriminalize it because of, the way it affects minorities. And I'm like, decriminalize it more for health reasons. I think that's a more valid and more pressing issue. The way it disproportionately affects the minority communities is real complex. And that's a wide sweeping reason. And it becomes hard to defend. I'm like, there's health benefits, right? I seen a video. Have you seen this video? Of this kid that had a seizure, and they put some oil in his mouth. It's an old video,
and it stops his seizure pretty quick. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's what I need to see. That's not an opinion based or a cultural based thing where people are afraid. With alcohol and stuff. There's people that strongly feel against it. That's fine. There's people that are for it. But what you can't really refute is the health benefit of, do you want to see your kid with a seizure? You want to stop that seizure?
Your mileage may vary.
It does.
Of course. But, these are,
But I would challenge somebody to see their kid having a seizure on the bed and having a moral, no, I'm not going to use cannabis oil. I'm like, I got kids. If that's what's going to stop it, I'd do it. Easily. I wouldn't think twice about it. Hand me the prescription, and it's like a drop or two. When we take, as a society, we're fine taking way harder drugs than marijuana. The fentanyl, the morphine, and all the stuff the doctors give you, that stuff is way more potent, there's way more addictiveness to that. That's a whole different conversation there, the addictiveness of the drugs that doctors prescribe you. People that go down a whole different path because they had a car accident and they'll prescribe XYZ painkiller, and then now they're dependent on it, long after the accident. Mm-hmm. So the decriminalization of that doesn't bother me. I don't smoke, doesn't bother me one bit. It's funny, I was talking about it the other day. I'm like, that smoke to me is less offensive than cigarette smoke, actually.
Yeah, a lot of people prefer that smell.
Yeah, it's like we've been living with cigarette smoke for the longest.
We've been living with alcohol for the longest. I think this is illogical to me. I can see the logic in that. We're fine with alcohol. Alcohol impairs you way worse.
Man, you come to my neighborhood, you get a little taste of what the world is going to smell like. Come on into my little neck of the woods and roll your windows down as you're pulling into the court. And
it's going to be everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's going to be everywhere.
People are going to hate it and people are going to love it. And
I guess my point is it's not the boogeyman that, to me, I don't see it as the big boogeyman as other. If you don't like it, don't do it. It's fine. Just like with smoking cigarettes right now. Yeah. And cigarettes have been proven to do way worse than marijuana also.
Yeah, I think the difference is like, it's like, you gotta look at it. I'm always interested. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you can't have a smoke break of you can't go smoke a joint on your break at work. You're not gonna be able to do it while you work. Like I remember
just like drinking, you can't go
just
take
like
a shot.
Drinking, 8 hours before, make sure you're it's gonna leave in your system.
You shouldn't drive like that. Like it makes sense.
People out in public though, that's like I don't know, man. You're just gonna see a lot of baked people walking around.
I guess that right there is an inconsistency. If as a law we're not fine with people being drunk in public, we should not be okay with them high in public.
Yeah.
This may be a limit on that too. I like that. I like that logic.
That's
it makes sense.
I always think about.
Yeah, because as a society, there's certain behavior, right? Like there's unwritten behavioral contracts where you expect people to behave a certain way, and stumbling around the street is one of them that you normally just don't want to see, and there are laws written to avoid such behavior.
Yeah.
And that could be a thing too. Like people, not as much, but that could be everybody walking around high and yeah. So some of that is laws written based on optics too.
Well, I mean, I don't on a regular basis see people that are wasted.
And that's the thing.
You know what I mean? Every once in a while, oh my God, you hear that guy talking? This guy's wasted.
Well, and
Very
I guess
rare, like, you know what I mean? This isn't like every day I'm seeing 3 or 4 drunk people out in public. That'd be nuts.
And that's going to be more prone to cause death than the marijuana thing. And this only comes up because it's in the news now like crazy. Virginia being, what are we, one of the first or the first southern state to decriminalize it. It's interesting. It seems to me it's motivated by money. The government finally found out you can make a lot of money on this, so let's make it legal. Because people are going to do it no matter what. And it's not a hard drug or whatever. So good news for some, horrible news for others. Because some people act like the world is ending based on this. Again, if you don't like it, don't do it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Make no difference to me. Other than that, not much else has been in the news. The vaccine, Biden falls downstairs. He can't walk properly without falling. He forgets everything.
Poor guy. He's old, man. If I saw my grandpa falling downstairs a number of times, I'd try to help him out, Say, hey, grandpa, maybe you don't go up there. Maybe you kind of stay down here, you know what I mean?
So, how would you think? So you got Putin that rides horses chest bare, and Biden's going to have one of those, you take the wheelchair, the handicap ramp up the Air Force One.
How old is Biden? How old is this dude? Is he in his 80s? No.
Nah.
Hold on.
I don't know how old Joe Biden is.
I have no idea how Joe Biden. How old? Here, watch this. Let's see the predictive text. How old is Joe Biden's the first one, and then Donald Trump was after
78.
that. And then here we go. Ready? Joe Biden. How old is Joe Biden? That's your first search. Your second is how old is Donald Trump? Your third, how old is Tom Brady?
Tom Brady's 400.
Joe Biden is 78. This
good guess.
He's not in his 80s. He's almost there, though. He's almost there.
How old is
Joseph Robinette Biden Jr.?
I didn't know there was Robinette.
Robinette? Really? Yeah, Robinette. That is confirmed with 3 websites here.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Here's a great headline. It is from the Tampa Bay, TampaBay.com. Joe Biden is old, but how old compared to other leaders? Opinion piece.
I guess.
How old is Joe Biden? That's funny, man. Like, what the hell was going on when he was like in his 20s and 30s? Whole different world back then, my friend. And old Donnie, 74. So he was no spring chicken either.
No.
Oh, man.
But I guess health wise, he did look a little. It's like he did look a little.
They called him obese. He was obese.
Well,
technically, I'm obese. Did you know that?
Technically, everyone's obese.
Technically, I'm obese and then some.
Yeah, morbidly obese. Everybody's obese. No, but those numbers to speak to that. Have you ever even looked at those numbers? Like if you're, I think for me, if I remember right, like by my hat, they say I'm supposed to be like 140 pounds.
I'm gonna do some truth here.
I'm like, that's crazy.
On myself. Let's
That's-
see if I'm obese. Ready?
It'll say that.
And weight. Chart men.
BMI. Males. BMI.
Yeah, height to weight ratio. What would I search? How much weight? How about just obese? Am I obese? Right? Am I obese?
Jeez.
Oh, there's a quiz.
Yeah, no, it'll say how tall are you? How much are you, right?
Yeah, this is terrible.
How much activity do you have? So are you sedentary? Are you?
Height, I am 6 feet, 0 inches.
I don't even know how tall I am. I'm like 5'9", 5'10", something
like
that.
I was like 240. I was like, you are obese. Wow, indicating that my weight is in the obese category for adults of my height.
Yeah, but if you look at the range.
There we go, baby.
But if you look at the range, imagine me 140. You'd be a stick. Like 140, dude.
Yeah.
I think people don't realize like that is skinny.
140. Where does it say you need to be 140?
It was like
For a
140 or
6 foot,
150.
It's like 180, 170, 180.
And for me at 5'9" or 5'10", I think it's like 150 or something like that. It's like 140, 150. I was like, yeah, no, I wouldn't like the way I look at that.
Are you sure?
At that either.
140 pounds.
It's like 140, 150.
140 pounds. It's like a big middle schooler.
It's like
That seems not
it's
enough.
like a husky Girl Scout.
140. That's like you're not 18 yet. You're not done growing. 140. I don't believe that, dude. I don't believe that. I had extensive knowledge of the height and weight standards when I was in the Marine Corps, and those always kept you in check. I don't know how those differed from the real world though. 140. Come on, dude.
So if I'm 5'9", and that's what I'm saying, I'm 5'9" or 5'10", I forget. If I'm 5'9", it says 144.
Is what?
It's like the optimal weight.
It
like
says
where you're
optimal?
healthy. Yeah.
Okay, 144. Wow.
And then if I'm 5'10", it's 149.
Okay, so not much more. It doesn't seem like enough.
It seems very skinny.
It seems like you're going to need extra blankets at night.
It seems like you're going to have to carry a gun.
It seems like you're going to get run over by everybody, pushed around your whole life.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to carry a gun or a knife.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm obese. That's, it is what it is. I was obese before the pandemic.
It didn't help, right? It didn't help, right?
Now I'm definitely obese. Jesus.
It doesn't help, I guess.
My God.
No, but America, the standard's different too. It's different. It's different. Like, did we talk about like in Germany, like the men seem like real lean and stuff like, and they eat like a similar diet than Americans. I don't know what's up over there.
Oh, I don't think they eat a similar diet as Americans. Nobody
Not as much.
in the world eats.
I guess
what
I'll put it this way.
Nobody
They don't eat
pumps that
as
shit
much.
full of chemicals like we do, baby.
Oh, I think
No
they
one.
do. Tyson and all that stuff. They're worldwide.
Oh my
But
God, dude. Yeah, but
if anything else, they're not necessarily going around and getting the big gulp and the super big gulp, and they're not ordering these things like the gallon. Do they got a big gulp that's a gallon yet?
yeah.
You think? What is the largest?
What is that fucking giant tub with
super
a
big
handle?
gulp.
That freaking dude, how comical is that freaking
What
thing?
is the
I'm like,
largest?
dude, and you always see like contractors rolling up. They fill that thing up. They're like, I don't want to have to stop all
yeah,
day.
I guess
I fill it up one time, and then at 6 p.m. I'm finishing off the last couple drops. Dude, that super big gulp it's too big. Can you imagine drinking that much cherry Coke? Oh my God. It's like half your body weight, that damn thing.
So it's half a gallon.
That super big gulp's half a gallon?
Half a gallon.
Show me
dude.
a picture of that. I gotta
half
look
a gallon.
at that. Show me a picture of that. Super big gulp. It's got a big ass handle. Super.
Yeah, no, it's plastic. There it is. It's $32 on eBay.
Wait, what?
That is wild.
Who the hell needs all that drink?
Wait, 3 liters. It's more than half a gallon.
Yo. Like, look at that. Look at the size of that.
If you put soda in that, you're going to die.
No one's putting water in it.
That's unfortunate.
Like, what are you drinking?
That's
Sweet tea?
Even sweet tea is terrible.
That's
I got
horrible.
caffeine, sugar, depending where you're from.
What the fuck is that?
That's the one right there.
Oh my God. That's insanity, dude. Yeah, we're just.
So in New York,
do you
though-
ever see what real portions are supposed to look like?
No,
you
it's
want a
wild.
good laugh. A real point, it's like the size of your, what is it? Like your little like a fist.
I don't know. It's whatever
it always
fills me.
seems small.
The
And I'm
portion
like,
is whatever
we're just
fills
so
me.
conditioned in this country.
So you seen in New York they were like outlawing the large drink or something like that.
So they're gonna make the medium bigger.
It was like New York.
Dude,
What was
the
it? New
medium
York
these days. The medium at
outlaws
these fast food joints is nuts.
large drinks. This is old.
Like, what is this? This is a small? No, this is a medium, right?
That's a medium in,
It's a medium from
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
What is the soda ban? In 2012, Bloomberg proposed a ban that would have prevented food service establishments from selling sugary beverages larger than 16 ounces in New York. Okay, so it was rejected finally. But I say that to say, what do you think about this?
You just go get a refill.
You just go get a refill.
Just go get a refill.
You just go get a refill.
Just go get a refill.
And this is gonna and this is gonna sound funny,
No,
but
man. I mean, look. Here's the thing. The government trying to look. Here's the thing with all these issues. Comes from a place of love, right? We're trying to make people maybe not so unhealthy. Got it. You just can't. This is America, man. You think people are just gonna roll over and just let you go in there and tell you what you can and can't do? Like, there's just not gonna happen.
they'll want to do it
sell
more.
this large. It's not gonna happen. If I want the large, I am a free man. I want a large. Okay, then give me 4 of those fucking mediums then. Give me 4 of them.
That's what it
Well,
boils
sir,
down
it's
to.
only limit 1 per customer. Really? You're going to have an uprising in the streets outside of McDonald's.
You know, I don't think it's the government business to tell you what to eat or whatever.
I
they can
agree.
educate you all
Sure,
day.
yeah, it's what the, you know.
hey, just so you know, all that sugar is going to give you diabetes and stuff like that.
Is the food pyramid still a thing?
Pyramid.
The food pyramid? Is that what I said? Wow,
the
it's
hood,
been a day.
the food, the hood, the hood pyramid.
The
There
hood
you go.
pyramid. I'd like to make a chart with the hood pyramid.
The hood pyramid has a bunch of fried foods at the top.
Yeah, baby.
The max.
Is that
And then
thing?
somewhere down
I
at-
wonder if they can't be still teaching that. I feel like that's so outdated.
I had heard that it was more upside down.
You
Like it
gotta
was.
lay the base of all the carbs and grains. You gotta. That's the most you should be doing. There's no way it's like that anymore.
I think you need a balance of everything.
Yeah.
It's just, it should be a rectangle. It's just eat a little bit of everything.
The food
in
rectangle.
moderation. Everything in moderation. That's the rule. Because it depends what you're trying to do. Like if you a lot of bread and stuff like that will make you gain weight. You retain that. A lot of salt too retains water. So your body just swells up. Get bloated.
See, look at this. The healthy eating pyramid. I put in food pyramid 2021. Misspelled pyramid. Said pyramid with a U. At the bottom, daily exercise and weight control. That's at the bottom of the pyramid now.
Is it?
Yeah, and then look at this. Above it, you've got vegetables and fruits, healthy fats and oils, and whole grains all together sharing that next part. And then you get a little higher. You
Is
have
meat
your
at the
fish,
top? What's
poultry,
at the
and
top?
eggs, nuts, seeds, beans, and tofu. And
Probably sugars are at the top, right?
then right towards the top, you got your dairy, a little bit. And then at the very tippity top, you've got your use sparingly. So your red meat, butters, refined grains. What the fuck?
It
The hell is
depends.
a refined grain?
I don't know.
Dude, I know nothing.
It's grain that lifts up his pinky when it eats.
Yeah. Sugary drinks and sweet.
But that'll depend. See, but that's not a
Salt.
wide sweeping rule. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's metabolism is different. Everybody's goals are different. Because if you're trying to, if you're The Rock,
come on.
you're not doing red meat sparingly. You're doing like all red meat.
Well, that's the thing about these things that try to lump everyone into one thing.
Yeah, no.
It's never going to be, it's never going to work, man.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
never gonna work.
why they teach you like you have to do what works for your body type when it comes to dieting and exercising and stuff
And
like
how
that.
do you do
Like,
that?
How do you do it?
How do you figure out what
Well,
your
our
body
bodies
needs?
are different, but our bodies could be categorized just like the personalities. Like
Yeah.
everybody's fits a certain body type, and they go through the whole how active are you, how active do you want to be? That's the thing too. Like your diet is gonna vary based on how active you want to be. Like if I don't want to do no exercise, then there's a diet for you. If you want to do some, then there's a different diet. And what do you want to do? You want to lose weight? You want to gain weight? Because some people want to get muscle. It's all different.
TonyFit.com. Be sure you
Oh, I didn't give any
check it out.
advice. I just said go research some stuff. So
Just messing with you.
just go research what works for you because
Oh,
it's
the
not
food
going to be
pyramid.
a broad sweeping thing.
I remember learning all about that food pyramid in school, man.
I remember very little about school as far as learning.
I remember learning about Blackbeard in 3rd grade.
Blackbeard, yeah.
Because he's kind of a local guy.
Yeah.
Blackbeard was a local dude. So we learned about Blackbeard. I remember cursive writing.
I remember White Pharaohs.
Yeah, White Pharaohs in these fucking books. I remember
European
Oh, dude,
pharaohs.
how about these, man? How about some Mad Minutes? the multiplication tables, the little half sheets of paper with all the multiplication tables on them, and you'd have a minute to see how many you can do.
Like the 9 times table and stuff like that?
Yeah, like 9 times 7, 4 times 3, 7 times 4.
They're terrible with those.
Oh, dude, I love those. And it was always like a race, dude. Dude, math was my favorite subject. It was my favorite subject. Math and reading, or in writing. I like to write, creative writing, and doing some math. I always thought it was a cool challenge. Don't use any of that shit anymore. Minus the writing I use. The math, not so much. The multiplication facts.
Not the high level stuff. We still use, the little. I think as far as an adult,
calculator.
As an adult, the furthest I go is like algebra, like on a day-to-day basis. Because you think about it, you do solve for X a lot of times without even thinking about it. Like, yeah, you kind of did. Like, you just.
Like when would you do that?
I guess it depends what you're doing around the house and stuff. But I'm constantly just between projects and stuff like this. Like if I'm fixing something, you're constantly like
using algebra.
Yeah, no, okay. Different levels of it.
Yeah, Victor saw me using my fingers to count the other day, and we had a good laugh about that. I said, "See, buddy, I still use my fingers." It was like nine. Yeah, it's something else. Like, so, boom. He was like, "You used your fingers." I was like, "Yes, I did."
You know the 9 times table trick with your hands?
Trust me. No. What's that?
It's like 9 times 2 is 18. There's 1 here and 8 on the other. 9 times 3 is 27.
Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. Yeah, I just memorized those ones.
I didn't memorize any of that.
Dude, I saw this great Facebook video the other day. It was like, it was a split screen. It was like common core math, how you do like a long multiplication, and then how we were taught growing up. And this lady is not even done explaining her first step, and this dude's done.
You see, then he made a coffee.
Like,
it was when the dude made a coffee while she was still explaining it.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, he gets done.
He starts making a coffee.
He goes on to his day. It's weird, man. Like Victor will have questions about his little math and these little diagrams. Everything is a diagram and a picture now with this first grade math. And I'm like, of course, I can very quickly figure out what they're trying to do. But it's like, I wasn't taught that way. So I literally have to look it up. He's like, Dad, I need help with this. I'm like, all right, let me see what you're doing here. All right, what is that called? A number division, number subtraction chart diagram picture thing. All right, Google that. Boom, figure it out.
When we were growing up, the idea was different. You had to memorize those timetables because you're not always going to have a calculator, is what they would say. You won't always have a calculator, right?
Yeah. Never had to memorize any division tables, though.
No, you didn't. But what's interesting about that is that was the thought back then, right? Like you have to memorize these tables because you're not always going to have a calculator. Now we are teaching kids methods of math that are going to always require you to have a piece of paper and a pen. Like, so I'm learning how to do multiplication. Where am I going to draw my grid? Mm-hmm. Where am I going to do my lines to do whatever and count this and then put my 4 grid? Where am I going to do that? Where exactly?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know how that works. I don't know who comes up with this common core thing or whatever and all the steps and who said that was the better way.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what. I'd love to do some research on it. It's like, why did we fix it? I didn't think it was broken, no?
No, I think what there was that you had me there. You had a lack of trying. It wasn't that the method was more difficult, at least to me in my experience. It was just I didn't care for it. I don't know that you had to fix it based on if that was the thing.
Why that came about, I wonder. I mean, of course, everything has a reason, right? There had to have been some mission statement.
I know school is easier now, and we're going to see the effects. To
delay and confuse the children in math. That's the Common Core
we're going to see the effects in 10, 20 years on what we're doing with these kids today. Because Victor is doing what? Is all his schoolwork on a Chromebook?
For the most part, yeah, most all of it. He does a math workbook where he has to write in it, but then take a picture with it in front of his Chromebook. We have to hold the fucking pages, and it's always weird.
And I defy any kid.
Sucks on that Chromebook.
I'll speak to kids in high school specifically. I defy any kid to look me in the face and lie to me and say that you're not Googling these answers on that little Chromebook.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested in how many teachers are going in there and putting their students' answers in Google and seeing how many of those have been taken from different websites. Are we really going in there and keeping kids accountable these days? I don't know. And there's reasons and excuses, valid, not valid for that. But we'll see what the effects we do with these kids, because I think a lot of them, there's no data, nothing scientific. It's me talking out of my rear end. But I think a lot of them are going to be worse off. They're not going to know as much as they should. I think a lot of them are sitting there Googling answers, copy and pasting, and they're going to graduate real lost. We'll see. Time will tell.
It's funny. I just think of it as I'm about to be 36, 35-year-old man. I'm like, anything I learned in elementary school, minus writing and counting. I'm like, you know what I mean? I think what you learn most in school, at least in my opinion, talking out of my rear end here, is social skills, reading and writing, basic literacy. That's about what I'm using these days.
You should learn social skills. That should be taught. You should learn public speaking. You should.
And
you
interacting with people
skills.
And then teamwork and sports and physical activity. I think that's all very important in school. But I'm like, what did you learn in 4th grade?
Well, the foundation, right? Like the whole 1 + 2 + 3, like all this stuff.
Well, that's not 4th grade, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I was saying early childhood, learning to count, read, write, literacy, computer literacy, I think is very important. But like I'm trying to think back to my middle school days. I'm like, really? Earth science?
Yeah, you probably,
geometry? I don't know, man.
I think there's an argument
there's a lot of fat to be trimmed off.
I think there's a lot of stuff to reinforce a lot of it. I think those early, from elementary and middle school, it's fine for them to reinforce and beat over the head the same information as far as a little bit of algebra, math, and that science and stuff like that. I think we talked about it before. I think at least, if not all of high school, at least the last 2 years should be, you strip all of that out the way, and now you're doing public speaking. Now you're doing how to do an interview. Now it's how to balance a checkbook and how to open a bank account, how to open a business, pay taxes. That's like what I think 11th and 12th grade should be, if not all of high school. It's like preparing you for the real world now, because the basics should have got out the way by at least 9th grade. Like, well, what are we still? I don't know. There's got to be a trade coming out of it.
Everything you learned before, we're just doing more advanced and deeper dives into these things. Like, I don't know. I mean, what am I using on a daily basis, man? I mean, I'm sure I have many educated friends that have gone to college and done all these things, but I'm like, I don't know. Those first 12 years, what are we doing?
They need to get rid of what do you put, the study block or any kind of
Homeroom?
the whole homeroom thing, like an entire bell dedicated to that. You could be doing a trade. You could pick a trade. You could pick a vocational thing. Learn how to do whatever. They had a whole bunch of stuff: carpentry, auto building, chefs, something, electrician, something to kind of help you prepare for the real world. Or what we talked about before. I mentioned that you can go do an internship. Mm-hmm. They got buses that take you to Votech. You can go do a bus and go to a company, do an internship. There's companies all the time looking for little interns to do data entry and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this is the reality. Public schools got a long way to go before you start seeing these kind of things happen. You can have these options as a parent. You just got to pay a lot of money for them. Private schools and programs and apprenticeships and all that stuff.
I guess you could argue that a lot of money already goes into the schools to begin with as well, though.
Does a lot of money go into the schools?
As I said, you could argue. You could argue that. How is that money being used? Because I'd imagine I'd have to look into it. I haven't looked into the numbers and how much tax money goes into all that stuff like that, but I'd imagine it's not absolutely bare bones. Depending on how far into it you are, if you're a teacher, you might have a very different opinion. But if we looked at the overall money being collected and going into schools, like for example, in Virginia, wasn't it that the lottery or a portion of the lottery money goes to schools?
I have no idea.
It was something like that. Like the lottery games that were being played, there's like a portion or like all of it goes to schools. How is this money being used? You can say that on the government level. School gets touchy because, a lot of people are teachers and they have friends that are teachers and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, leave that alone. But where's that money going? They're like accountability again. Because I'm sure that there's money going in there. There's a lot. There's millions and millions going into that. So why those options don't exist and why are they only for private schools? Got to get another teacher on here. Or somebody that works in the accounting side of the school system to say, here's why these things don't happen. But what are you going to do about it? To the general public, what are you going to do about it? It's frustrating when you left kind of feeling like the only option is to complain. Because I don't know what you do about it.
Me either. Happy Friday, everybody.
In the meantime, you move on with you move
Enjoy
on.
your weekend, everyone.
You don't worry and be happy.
Put a smile on, guys. There's a lot of good things going on out there.
Tap my cup, sir, and let's go.
All right, man. I am Matthew.
I'm Tony.
And this has been another episode of the Tsunami Podcast.
Oh, yeah.